Oh yeah, sorry about the 8 a.m. on the screen here. In the title, it says New York Market Open, and it's also scheduled for 9. So I apologize for the confusion. Uh, I might just start it. I might just start. So yeah, I might just start. Yeah. All right, I'll just start. Give me a couple of minutes. I mean, it's there's deer in the lake. Oh, it's so pretty. Ugh. We could just sit outside and drink coffee and smoke cigars and say, wasn't that a crazy night? All right, give me a. I was just, yeah. Hang on. Let me shut that shot down. Let me move that over there. Doo. It was interesting. Okay, yeah. You know what we need? We need to play my music from my wedding. Where's my wedding music album? Oops, whoa, don't do that. Gee whiz, what did I just do? Hang on. So there's that. Oh, I know where it is. Hang on. Where's my wedding music? Boo-doop, 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 boo-doop. Hang on. Okay, we'll just start. We'll start in a couple minutes. Just let me pull it together and we'll get her done.
Have you ever noticed on any price chart there are one or two big moves, but they're surrounded by masses of, well, junk really? Those fast, clean moves offer the easiest, most stress-free trades any trader could wish for, but there's a problem. The problem is, for some reason, you're never on those multi-thousand-dollar moves, right? You actually spend your time trading in all that difficult stuff on the chart. And when the big move finally appears, it's always when you're least expecting it and you weren't even looking. So by the time you do spot it, it's just too late to join in. If that sounds familiar, then first of all understand you are not alone. This is what the majority of traders also experience. I've been in the market since 1981. I can tell you I've seen more of these major moves from the sidelines than I care to think about. But I've got some great news for you today, because I've discovered there is a solution to this problem, and it's a far simpler one than you might think. Just imagine being able to capture even just one of those big, fast, clean, and above all stress-free trades, the trades that are regularly worth thousands of dollars, sometimes even 10,000 or more. What would that do for your bottom line? What would that do for your trading psychology? How great would it actually feel to ride one of those big winning trades for a change? And how determined would you then be to go out and find another one of these simple, stress-free, and highly profitable trades? Well, if you're interested in learning how to spot these big moves, but before they actually start, then I'd like to share what I've discovered with you. You see, many of these spectacular moves on our price charts are actually preceded by a very specific pattern. Once I've shown this to you, you'll be able to copy the exact same process that we now use to capture these astonishing trades, regularly worth many thousands of dollars each. I'm running a free live class to teach you exactly how to do this. Come and join us and learn this career-changing secret. Just click on the Learn More button to reserve your seat, and I look forward to seeing you there.
Are we getting ads?
Stock market is on fire.
Here he is.
You know it, and I know it too.
He's got a jet, fellas.
Investing and pulling out big profit.
He's got a jet. Idiot. Well, I don't want to turn the ads off. I got a jet, bro. Anyways. You guys ready to go? Let me see your hands. Put your hands in the air. Are you guys ready to go? Look at me. I'm on a skateboard. I'm on a skateboard. Let's go. Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. So happy good day to you today. We had an election last night. We still don't have a true result. That was sort of, okay. I haven't been updated. I went to bed like 4 hours ago. And back then, it was like Trump was winning a lot of these, several major key states that were about 50, 60, 70% in, but they wouldn't declare it. So we didn't know where we stood in Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, that kind of stuff. I think North Carolina. I think we still needed Georgia. But it looked heavily Trump anyway. So, but they haven't called it, and now I think Biden got Wisconsin or something like that. So, anyways, we'll have to check that out. So, what was yesterday like? Did anyone attend the 7.5 hour stream that I did last night for FX Bootcamp members? Now, it started out like this. People logged in at 7 o'clock, and I'm like, look, I'm in like 17 trades. I have 800 pips. Look at me, I have 800 pips. Look at me, I have 800 pips. And then, what? Where my pips at? Yeah. So we waited. I tried to show aggression in a scenario where the aggression was warranted. We also talked about risk on, risk off, and I went through all the different pairs, and then we went back through the historical charts, and we went through the last 4 elections. So we did all of that. But so my goal was, like, most of the time we were on 5-minute charts or less, even 1-minute charts. I wanted to show like when to get in and go for the kill. And then there was one particular moment where I bought like 3 or 4 yen pairs, or pa-chow. They were okay trades, not amazing trades, but they were at reasonable prices. So it was like, it has to go here or not, right? So anyways, boom, 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 boom. So I'm like, okay, they seem to be fine. And then I roll down into the dollar pairs, and I'm like, oh, snap, dollar strong. Like, what the heck happened there? So I tempered, basically, I shut down the enthusiasm, like hardcore, like, no more. And we had to wait and we wait. So we waited another 4.5, 5 hours just waiting. So it was a very interesting night. Not the way I wanted it to go. And I'm not talking about election. I'm talking about market conditions. And I never got, sort of based on my rules of engagement, never got the green was, if you're like pivot points, for example, you'd look at the highest high, you'd look at the lowest low, and then you'd look at like an open and close scenario, and like almost statistically nothing happened, right? So here's the beginning of the election night, and then so it's slightly bearish, and of course I wanted it to be slightly bullish. So if anybody learned anything, it was how to set it up. I had all my stops jammed, so no big deal. And then it came collapsing. Then I gave it some shots, and then it didn't work out, and I backed out and all that kind of stuff. We also talked about some other risk management tools like setting budgets and expectations. And some people meditated before, so we were ready, willing, and able. And, it was tradable, but I was ready, willing, and able to put down dozens of trades. I never got the opportunity. So it just, like, I was ready. And so people logged in, and I was in almost 20 trades already. I was up 800 pips, then 700 pips, and then 750, and then 7, 6, 5, 4. So so there you go. So it was a very interesting night. Thank you for being there. Thank you for being a part of the community. Cool. So Forex.Today, what are we? We're more than 16,000 foreign exchange traders. We're interested in things like technical analysis, fundamental analysis, macroeconomics, trader psychology. And so if you're new to these webinars, please subscribe, please like, please comment. I do my best to answer questions, but please be patient with me because I look at the chat, I see a question, then I look at the charts and I talk for 15 minutes. Meanwhile, there's 19 other questions. Well, I can't do both. I can't do both of anything. So I'll give you what I got, and if I don't get to you today, keep asking. I'm here every day. And if you're unsure about that, I've been doing these webinars almost 20 years. YouTube is only, 14 years old. I've been doing YouTube Forex trading videos since I was a beta tester, before you even heard of YouTube. Before Google, before all of that, I was already on YouTube. So I've been here a while, and I plan on being. So if I don't get to your question today, maybe I can get to it tomorrow. So we still have a pretty heavily stacked week. There's a lot going on. Is it Wednesday today? So we already have ADP done, right? Yeah, so another dumb predictions done. And some other things are kind of deferred out. So we still got a busy trading week to do on the calendar. So, don't fade away quite yet. Thank you to Traders Way for being a great broker and for being a part of our community as well. And if you're interested in a broker that has fast execution speeds, narrow spreads, big swaps, and here's the most important thing, actually enter your trades in the interbanking system, which means they don't B-book you, they're not betting against you, they're not doing all that unscrupulous stuff, which is actually kind of the norm in the business, in the beeswax. We've seen it as proof. They enter their trades. You go click and it's in the interbanking system. So honestly, that's what you need as a foreign exchange trader. Okay. So cool. So thank you for being here, and let's get on with it. I'd like you to also know I got grades. My distressed investing class, I got grades back from exams. We covered distressed debt through primary debt, primary equity, right? Rescue funds. Compared them to against the strategies and logic of a leverage buyout. So what's the difference there? Quite different in many different ways. I got an 89, which is to me the worst frickin' grade you could possibly get. A B plus 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 plus. I could have got one more right, and it could have been an A minus, which is way better. So wah wah wah. But whatever. Forex is still the best thing I've ever seen. No matter how much more I learn about other things, we make money so much better. I mean, think of it. Let's say you have a bunch of money, and you find a company that is struggling to pay its debts, and you're like, "Oh, well, what if you borrow my money?" You're like, "Well, why would you do that?" So, anyways. No, I tell my children know too. I've taught them the worst grade you could possibly get is 89. It's not like you didn't know. It's either you got unlucky, which sucks, or you were not prepared enough, which is unacceptable. You should go into the test expecting an A. Very often I'm like, oh, I thought I had an A, but I got an A minus. I'm okay with that. So my 40 classes I've done at Harvard, I'm an A minus guy, which means I have a lot of A's, A minuses, and a couple, just enough B pluses once in a while to just not make it spectacular. So, but A minus after 40 classes, that's not bad. Okay, let's move on.com. So now I am waiting for fundamental plays on this, but check this out. And let me do it by just moving this thing. Is anyone here going to play this like a 1, 2, 3? This is my decision for today. Okay, I'm going to have to make a decision for today. My fundamental bias for the U.S. dollar has not changed. And you might say, well, but Biden won, or you might say, well, Trump won, or something, and it doesn't matter to me. Okay, the political part changes it doesn't change the direction. Let's put it that way. It may change the amplitude, but it doesn't, right? It doesn't change direction. So now I just okay, well, you guys know I want up. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm preparing. And in a situation like that, if that's what you are and that's what you're preparing for, you're probably going to recognize that scenario as a higher high. So let's get rid of this stuff. Let's get rid of that. It was down. I'm not interested in down. I'm interested in no longer down. That's the key point of being a bull. Okay? So I'm going to look at this that way. And of course, what I would be looking for, since you know I'm already a bull, we kicked off some sort of support. And there's like plan A would be like this. And you might actually see it like this, which is completely valid too. We would probably have more like or more like a plan B. Okay. Well, Mahir actually brings up a very good point. It doesn't matter who wins the political process. As far as direction of the market's concerned, the velocity might, or the amplitude might be different, but direction won't be, in my opinion. But the Fed is eternal. And this is what, it brings up a good point. I don't know if I want to do it on pound dollar, but let's maybe pick on euro dollar, for example. Okay. If we were to look at this from like a daily point of view, okay, this is what matters to us as currency traders. You see this period here? That's the Fed. And I said, okay, that's it. I'm a bear now in US dollar, probably for the next 5 years, maybe longer. Done. I didn't mention politics. I didn't mention anything else. Okay? So that was the other thing, and I'm glad you brought that up in here, because this is what I was thinking about in my meditation this morning. So I meditated for probably close to a half an hour, which isn't very long. I typically would more than a half an hour a day. But today I was thinking about that, like I would like to reinforce with y'all, all you all, that the bigger forces here are what matter most. And not even the political election truly matters. It has to do with the business cycle. And what's pushing the business cycle? Fed policy. And the design of the current Fed policy is dollar weakness. It's the outcome. It's what the math would prove. So, for example, and I was very clear in the moment, but let's just talk about it again to make sure. We were thinking about, like, things are bad in here, and the Fed and stimulus and, all this kind of stuff. And we were thinking the Fed could go negative like Europe, like Japan. Okay? We learned in here, no. Nope, not going to happen. Done. And I told you right then and there, that's it. I'm a bear on US dollar for years and years and years. Cool. So we get all bent out of shape on things like the Fed or the presidential election. Like, it is important. And like I said, we went through the last 4 elections. So we know what's likely to happen in the near future. We just don't know when the near future is going to start. But I propose to you the takeaway that you have from the last 24 hours is that nobody talks about this. Nobody talks about this because most people don't understand it. And even though last night is important, it's not as important. And maybe this shows, right? This shows how important. What about Brexit? Okay. If there was a massive change in policy in in the White House that we didn't know how to handle, like Elizabeth Warren wins and she wants to tear down Wall Street. Okay, this is going to be a problem. Okay, but right now, Obama light isn't scary enough, and we already know how to deal with Trump. So anyways, we're just sort of, But I want you to put this into perspective where instead of getting sucked into the hype of the media, I'm not saying in that case a biased media, just the media, I want you to drop into the meaningful part of what we do as professionals. Okay? Most people would have missed everything to do with that. Okay? Okay? And most people were focused on this. Right? How does the song go? You could do it this or you could do it that. You could do it this, right? But this is where it's at. You can do it this or you could do it that. Was that De La Soul or something from, 1991? Something like that. But this is where it's at. The executive branch of the United States government, which just happens to oversee an economy, let's say, of the reserve currency, what's more important is what the central bank does to manage that economy. Black sheep? Really? A tribe called Quest. Oh, wow. Which one is it? I guess it's Tribe Called Quest, I think. Fat Boy Slim. So, cool. So there's the walk. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to get into central banking. I want you to get into fundamentals. And this is sexy, but this is what's going to make you money. Okay? If I can just say like this, boom, I'm going to be short dollar for years and years and years and years and years because of this. Is it black sheep? All right. Oh, the choice is yours, black sheep. All right. So this is where it's at, guys. How about this? Don't believe the hype. My 98s are booming in my trunk with funk. All you punks can't stop my dunks. All right. Okay, so that's that. So here I am, and I'm waiting to buy these. You see? I'm looking at this. I'd like to buy it. Okay? If Biden loses, will you or the other go? You don't get it. Yeah, I'm sorry. They don't. It's nope. 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 Sorry, and I'm tired, right? So I've slept less than 4 hours. I did about 9 hours of webinars yesterday. So I'm just worn out because I feel like I've answered every question 19 times. And I gave free tours of Wisconsin, by the way. But so anyways, just be patient with me. But yeah, it's not the right question. That's it, right? It's not the right question. The thought process doesn't compute. So the best thing I can tell you is don't think one victory is good or one is bad, or a different victory is bad. Don't think if Trump is bad for the dollar and Biden's good for the dollar. Like it's not even the right question. It's not there, right? It's not even the right question. right? So in this case, when it comes to the political election, it's the uncertainty that matters, not who wins. It doesn't matter. Like I said earlier, and maybe you missed the beginning of the webinar, who wins doesn't change the direction. It only changes things like the magnitude, the velocity, that kind of stuff. So you're asking the wrong questions. So again, it's not a bitch slap. It's just, but the funny thing is, you hear that in the media all the time, and it's a real disservice. Crypto says when dollar goes up, Bitcoin goes down. Well, is that generally correct? Well, it has to be somewhat correct because Bitcoin is priced in dollars. So if the value of the dollar goes up, you need less dollars to buy the same amount of Bitcoin. Now, does that mean they're opposite? No, they're related. You're pricing it in dollars. Okay? I would look at it differently, crypto. What you see is what you get. So Crypto WYSIWYG, I would say there's more like a positive correlation with a global macro trend, which means risk on, Bitcoin goes up. Risk on, dollar goes down. That is much more important than Bitcoin and dollar. That's not the interesting part of that equation. Again, you're concentrating on the wrong variable, and there's a little bit of this idea of, if you eat enough ice cream, you can make a rainy day go sunny and hot. You can make a cold, rainy day hot and sunny if you eat enough ice cream. No. But yes, on hot days, more people eat more ice cream. So it's just sort of you're twisted on the wrong variables. But I know what you're trying to get at. Okay, but it's just the wrong point of view. So look more like at global macroeconomic trends, not a correlation, because the correlation isn't the right question. Because correlations can and do change. Right? Because there was a time in my trading, like for example, euro and pound were extremely highly positive correlated, like 93% positive correlation. And then Brexit came along, and all of a sudden they're opposites. And you're like, well, what's that? Okay, so they're different. Exactly, KG's correct. Correlation is not causation. So I want you to focus on the cause of the move of money, not in the short run similarities between certain things, because they'll break down. Okay, cool. So again, a lot of people, you guys are asking really good questions, but I have to challenge you, and I apologize for being blunt, but I want you to change. I mean, you're asking good questions, but they're the wrong questions, or they're from the wrong point of view or something. So I want you to at least be aware so you can think about it. You're like, oh, well, if it's what does he mean by that? And I'd rather you think about it. So I may have a name for our book club. I hate calling it a book club because it belittles the idea of what I'm about to build. But I thought about education. I thought about like what are we trying to do, right? There's the educated investor. Educated, a little slow today. Okay, and so when I was on Bloomberg for 2 seasons of the educated investor, you're educated, and I thought about that. Like, what does educated mean? You've completed a process, right? You took a class, you passed, done. Or you read a book or something, but you've completed some sort of milestone. Okay? But to me, that's not enough. Right? It's just not enough. And I'm heavily educated, and I'm like, okay, it's not enough. So what's the next thing? Intelligent. Intelligent. See, I'm in intelligent. It's isn't it an irony? Intelligent. Oh, that's not right, is it? Anyways, intelligent. What's the difference between educated and intelligent? Okay? You are smart when you're educated because you've achieved some sort of set of milestones. You're intelligent because you're smart, but you're uneducated. Now, you can buy education and really not be that smart. Now, you can be intelligent and be completely uneducated, right? You could be wicked smart, but have no credentials. So one is sort of like facts, and the other one is, I don't know, some sort of inherent capability. Do we want any of those as traders and investors? Do we want to be educated? Do we want to be intelligent? Well, if you're not already intelligent now, there's no hope, I kind of think. And even if you're not that intelligent now, you can actually get educated. But educated to me isn't enough. And intelligent is you have potential, but you have unrealized potential. Right? So what's the next step? How do you combine intelligence with education? Okay. I know intelligence and intellectualism are similar, aren't they? But let me thread this together. If you're intelligent and educated, what happens? Not only did you complete the classes, and let me tell you, a lot of people in college, they just go through the motions. And they complete the work. Some people are really good at like cramming for tests. Some people are memorize stuff. See, I can't do any of that. I have to know it, and I'm a very, very slow learner. But if you look up intellectual, you're putting a level of thought and inquisitiveness and an inherent ability to take it to a higher level. Right? And you're stringing the pearls together in a thread in a logical way. But the most important thing here with the intellectual part is that there's a level of research, of thought, of discussion, an inherent connection with the material, like a level of mastery, but it's around the thought and the inquisitiveness. So I looked it up, I think. I don't remember the exact, so I want to look it up. Intellectual. Oops, I have to turn the marker off. Okay, so I looked it up, intellectual. So, right, there's an action to it versus an education, which is done. Okay? And imagine this. 30 years ago, you graduated from college. Okay, well, everything you learned is obsolete, so are you intelligent? No, you completed college 30 years ago. Well, it's done. You see what I mean? An intellectual person is engaged in critical thinking. Okay, engages. It's an action. Engages in critical thinking, research, and reflection. That's not educated, and that's not street smart. So I bought intellectualinvestor.com in case we want to use that, because I want to show it's not a book reading club. That's what Reese Witherspoon does. I want to engage with you in critical thinking, research, and reflection about investing and trading and psychology and history and social anthropology in ways that even a university would never be capable to do. Maybe a PhD level program, but that is also very working in on a PhD program is very isolated. It's you. It might be your thesis team because you have a board that helps you work and stuff. But very often you're out doing primary research on your own and all that. It's you on your own. This is going to be an intellectual group. The group will engage in critical thinking and reflection of the research that we're working on. You understand? Like it's a much higher level of really action. I think the biggest thing here is the action. And the action here doesn't say you've read a lot of books. That means you're educated. I'm not interested in the educated part. I'm interested in the questions. What does it mean, Basil? Okay? So that might be where we go on this. Well, so like OG says, yeah, having other teachers. Like in that case, like it's not me teaching you how to invest. It's like one thought I had is like, why would you have one guru when you could have 100? Okay. But even then, if you don't engage, you're not going to come out, right? You understand? It doesn't mean you'll engage. I entice you guys every day to engage with the lessons, to engage with the experience, to engage with the message. And you'll notice that it's the level of engagement that you do that determines your success or failure on the not side of that, right? So, so I wonder if you'll join me on that journey. I hope you do. Okay, so I'm very interested in buying pound dollar. I'm very interested in... it's coming up close. I'm very interested in buying euro dollar. I'm very interested in buying Aussie dollar. I'm very interested in buying Kiwi dollar. And are we there on this? So we know. I don't know. Yeah. So we're on the sell. Yeah. I see the right price here. but it's not the same technically. So it smells like 32 to me, not 3180. So I'm not quite ready on KittyCAD for the short. Noki, I was short this last night, and this rally, one of the rallies anyways, took me out, obviously. Okay. So I'm not quite ready there. I was short peso last night, and the rally took me out. Okay. So I might want to get short again. Okay. And most of the trades, by the way, were break-even trades. So I had good looks. And I was short this last night, and then out, and then down, and then whoa, all over the place, huh? Right on, Jeffrey. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. All right. So, yeah. So 9 o'clock. So what do we got going? How was off the charts? I thought it was pretty good. I thought we had a good one. I don't have the link right now. Guess we could do that. Do I even have a browser open? How funny. Only 200. All right. YouTube.com/FX Bootcamp.
As dry weather threatens global supplies for commodities. All right. So they're talking about Russia, the Rus, right? And Canada and the United States. So who's producing wheat now? Who's next in line to receive the high prices? Because remember, the reason the prices went up is what they're saying here. Dry weather in Russia, which is the world's largest wheat exporter, and drought in the western United States have raised concerns about the possibility of lesser production. So there's a fear of supply. But the thing about Russia and Canada and the United States is they're all on the same season. Australia produces a lot of wheat, and people are going to go, do you have wheat? Do you have wheat? Like, maybe. You got money, right? Because prices have gone up. So that might be good for Australia. How about Argentina? They got fabulous wheat in Argentina. Fabulous.
Yeah, this is what we do on Sundays. Notice the cigar. Beautiful cigar.
Good for Argentina. They can use some extra money, some pesos. I gotta visit Argentina. Buenos Aires, Paris, Latin America. All right.
Is that right, Shook?
So I highlighted a bunch of things.
And please subscribe to the FX Bootcamp channel too. I need a couple hundred more subscribers.
Story today about that man. What's up, Jay? JP Powell. So it just sort of, I kind of skimmed through it. It just seemed to be like a profile, like, oh, back in this time he worked here, and back at that time he worked. They're better than their peers. They're better than.
So we're talking about mid-cap hedge funds now.
Right. More importantly, or equally important, as it says here, less volatility than the Russell mid-cap benchmark. So where do they get their money? Promising people that they're going to turn their millions into billions, or promising less volatility? And it's the low ball. That's what people want. And again, we've had this conversation tons of times over at Forex.Today or in the live trading group, but you shouldn't be focused on big returns. That's not what people want, because returns are a function of risk. Risk is bad, okay? And again, humans take risk when they have nothing to lose, like when you only, right? So you risk it all when you don't have much. When you have a lot, you don't want the risk. It's just human nature. So just from a retail Forex attitude, like if you ever want to raise other people's money, and I think you absolutely should manage other people's money down the road, it's going to be the secret to your success. If you do want to make this your business, they don't want big returns. They want consistent returns. There's a difference. They want a cash flow. You're just like investing into, real estate. You need to be like paying rent. Like they give you $100,000 and they expect a certain amount back on a regular basis without volatility. Two guys running the fund, they met in the 1990s at an investment club in Cornell University's business school.
Wait, that's where I make fun of Warren Buffett, so I better stop there. That's sensitive territory. So anyways, feel free if you're a subber. I'll see you then. FX Bootcamp. I had a question about downloading templates. Will they download to a tablet or only a computer? They're MT4, MT5 templates. So you can download them wherever you want, but you have to install them into MetaTrader. You can download them to your phone, but they won't work because you don't have MetaTrader on your phone. You don't have the platform. You might have an app, but you don't have the platform. See, they're templates for your MetaTrader platform. Yeah, so I do have a Windows tablet, and they are installed, and they're perfectly fine. So I guess after 9 hours of webinars yesterday, my voice is going. So maybe we'll just call that a day. Call it a day. And I will see you tomorrow. Also on Friday, I'm over at FX Street, not Forex.Today, for trade non-farm payrolls live number whatever. And I think we're at 14 and a half years or something of that webinar. Unless you have a smarter phone than the current one, yeah, but you'd still need a Windows phone, and what kind of idiot would do that? They tricked you. So anyways, yeah. So thank you for being on my team. Thank you for your hard work and professionalism. I don't know if I say it enough, but you're right. I see many of you on a regular basis outside of even Forex.Today, and I see you're working on the right things. And I'm starting to see that you guys realize that your technical analysis is good enough. It's pretty good, and you're learning the fundamentals. But it's putting it together with patience and discipline, and getting through the short-term strife and seeing the longer-term vision. And you're working into that, and I see you succeeding. Okay. OG NASA says, I'm here for the humor, screw the intelligent education. Well, I worked at NASA for 2 years, so maybe we have that in common. Last night was a great lesson in discipline. Yeah, but I didn't want that to be the great lesson. I wanted to show you. Honestly, I was going to pack and stack like 20, 30, 40, 50 trades last night. That's what I was ready to do. I wanted to show you. Right? That's what I want to show you. I'm going to show you how to pack and stack 20, 30, 40, 50 trades. And I was ready, willing, and able. And I started out great. Like I had almost 20 trades open. I had over 800 pips profit for the day. And then it just, I wasn't given any opportunities. So So yeah, I taught you discipline. Like, well, we got discipline. Yeah, I wanted to do more, but I'm not in control of the market. So what can I do? I guess my best, right? Maybe we do that tomorrow's session. Tomorrow's session is about swing trading. Dropping 35 trades in a day is not swing trading. So I was hoping to give you something a little different, a little more, a little unique. But I wasn't given the opportunity. Now, and Jim says crazy volatility yesterday. But see, like, actually, again, because maybe I am old school, but what is this? 118? It's not even 118. This is like 117 and a half. And the low is 116. It's only 150 pips. Okay? If you remember the story where I'm up like 400 or 500 pips on on USD yen. And I was short, and our target was 115. This is almost 20 years ago. I remember it like it was yesterday. So it was falling. I had about 400 pips profit. We hit 115, then 114, then 113, then 112, then 111. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I'm telling you, in minutes, suddenly I'm up 800 pips. And I'm like, get out. I hit the exit button, and then it did this, and it moved up another 300 pips in the course of 3 more minutes. And so I got slipped 300 pips, and I finally got out with 500-600 pips profit for the day on pathetic, boring, stupid USD yen, the slowest mover of the bunch. And now we had a U.S. election, and it moved a total range of 150 pips. I got chunks of corn bigger than that. So, So yes and no, I guess is what I'm saying. Yes, we did the full Monty, but it's volatile in the sense that we started the week here, then we went to here at the top of the night, then we went back down to there, and then where we left last night was interesting because we were right back in the middle. We were basically at the mean, and I'm like, we're done, right? Because we're at the mean. I'm like, we can't do anything here because it's not overbought, it's not oversold, so I'm going to bed, kind of thing, right? So I still think we're going to be up here, and that's what I'm planning for. And that's why not long ago, what was it, 20 minutes ago? I'm telling you, I'm interested in buying in here. Yeah. So, that's boring, but that's ultimately the better way of doing it. Okay? In my opinion, anyways. So, thank you for being on my team. Thank you for your hard work. I hope you're doing well. And so, peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. And, see you tomorrow. Multitask.